I wouldn't mind. Well, you're a positive thinker. DECA.
Well, this is Ron Jeffries, Assistant Superintendent of Vocational and Adult Education in Polk District Schools.
Developing future leaders for marketing and distribution. We were going for stereo there for a moment. Why'd you quit, Joan? The Distributive Education Clubs of America. All these floats round up some pretty girls to participate in this parade.
We have hunker down hungry dogs.
We certainly do.
Someone saying, how about them dogs?
How hungry are they? We'll find out at feeding time.
Now we have the Silver Spurs.
Hope they don't hurt me. Well, I don't ride a horse, so I don't have to worry about that sort of thing. More pretty gals. The Silver Spurs of Osceola County, featuring Miss Silver Spurs from St. Cloud. This 13-foot high boot with large silver spur is what you're seeing now with the girls along with it. And they're all from Osceola County to promote the Silver Spurs Rodeo held semi-annually. Now it's band time.
We have Avon Park High School from Avon Park, Florida. The colors are red and black. Joe Keating is the director.
How many points do you give this song? I give it an 85. It's a little hard to dance to, but I'll give it 100 for being easy to march to, I think.
Got a great beat.
Here's my dad's old car, a Buick. He had one just like this. It was green. This one's blue and white. From John's Appliance and TV, this is a 1956 Buick Special.
If cars could talk, imagine what that car could tell us. What a history.
I imagine so, Joan. I'm glad my father's car isn't here.
Now we have the Haines City drill team from Haines City, Florida. The colors are orange and green. There are 35 girls, 4 drummers, and 1 drum major.
I thought you were going to say in a partridge in a pear tree for a moment. They probably have that at Christmas time when they march, though. Okay, the Lake Ship Baptist Church of Winter Haven. Now this float was handmade with paper mache. The Bible lettering when all else fails is kind of interesting. Got the orange tree with Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve, of course,
of Bible fame.
They've been around a long time. I think they look pretty good for their age, don't you?
This is the Wildwood High School Band from Wildwood, Florida. Colors are red, white, and blue. Their nickname is the Wildcats.
Those are wild outfits, too. 65 people in the band. Their entire school enrollment consists of 370 students. The director, Mr. L. Lewis. Wildwood High School from Wildwood, Florida, just south of Ocala. I was up in Wildwood the other day.
You're a wild and crazy guy.
I know it. Red, white, and blue. You can't get any more patriotic than those colors.
Next we have Studio L from Winter Haven.
Both a float and a boat unit.
I think they're a dancing school, I would say. We can read the signs here. Studio L Strutters.
It apparently is a strutting school. Look at them strut their stuff.
Your stuff. Well, they've got batons. Perhaps it's baton twirling school.
Did you have a baton when you were a little girl?
No, I don't have eye-hand coordination.
Can't chew gum and what at the same time exactly?
Next, we have Eagle Lake Area Chamber of Commerce in a Model T Ford antique car. Keep your eye on Eagle Lake.
Mickey Petty, the mayor. The Eagle Lake Area Chamber of Commerce. Tom Sheffield, the 1984 president. And there they go. They have it the easy way. They get to ride in the parade instead of walk. Well, the Christian Retreat is from Bradenton, Florida. A red, white, and blue religious float.
Next, we have the Mulberry High School Band of Mulberry, Florida. Their colors are royal blue and white, and their nickname is Panthers.
50 band members, student enrollment there in Mulberry 420. The director, Mark Lucier. The Mulberry High School Panthers. More pretty cars coming up in convertibles once again. John A. Stewart, superintendent of Polk County Schools, and Mrs. R. Clem Churchwell. John Stewart participated in the recent park cleanup at the downtown city park, sponsored by the Winter Haven Chamber of Commerce Beautification Committee.
Ted Aguilas, school board chairman, Nancy Simmons, and Claude Ridley, school board members.
J.J. Corbett, Dan Hutchison, school board members. Some pretty girls riding in front.
Next, we have Cypress Cathedral. Here's a homemade float made by the members of the church. And there.
Well, Joan, I see we've had a little change in the parade. Actually, what's coming up next here is Education, a Ride to Success. The public schools of Polk County, Florida. All the schools represented on this float. The pom-pom girls are here asking for Al, one of our fine crew. You know, this is the second parade I've been involved in, and the second time women have been asking for our crew member, Al Lopez, a very popular individual apparently around Polk County.
We have Cypress Cathedral from Winter Haven. This is the homemade float by the church.
That you were talking about earlier,
yes,
Joan.
I was ahead of myself.
You're such a forward-looking person, I can understand that. Part of your positive thinking, Joan. Here's a sweetheart and a hand waving out from that particular vehicle. Model T Ford, is it? I'm not going to ask you, Joan. You weren't alive then.
That was Justice for Children from Polk City, and it's a 1924 Model T.
Ah, I was right. Here's a convertible. Well, who do we have here? We have Prince Larry Carroll, Princess Christy Hendricks, the sponsor, Juanita Little League. The classic automobile, courtesy of Rowan Lincoln Mercury here in Winter Haven. Aren't they cute, Joan?
They really keep waving and waving. How neat.
Very pretty float here.
Tribute to the Olympics.
Yes.
From WYXY Radio of Dundee in a handmade float. And they're tributing the Olympics in Sarajevo.
Close enough, Joan. Look out. There's an Indian. There's that Indian. But fortunately, he's got his peace pipe with him, so we're not in trouble. The Societe from Winter Haven. The 48 locomotive and the Societe members. Ralph Glendenning, chairman, and here comes another exciting band, Joan.
Beach County High School from Fort Valley, Georgia. Colors are black and gold. Their nickname is Trojans.
How many in this band? Well, I would guesstimate 114 according to our notes. Student enrollment 790. The director, Randolph Lindsay. And also Deborah Bird. They have won, Joan, over 150 trophies in 7 years.
I can hear why.
The Beach County High School band from Fort Valley, Georgia. Let's listen to them. Getting a round of applause there from the crowd. And justly deserved. Big winners in band competitions for 7 years.
Here come the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in an orange, red, and white float with the trademark, the players, and the cheerleaders.
I would say that's pretty expensive corn, a Buccaneer, wouldn't you? The Bill Curry Ford here, courtesy van, helps a lot of traffic problems out around the Tampa Bay area normally, but participating in the parade today. They work in close connection with Q105.
They're promoting the Buccaneers punt, pass, and kick competition, which is sponsored by Bill Curry Ford. Crowd loves the cheerleader. Next, we have the Central Florida Twirling Institute from Orlando with the marching unit called the Precision Baton Corps.
They were featured in the Tangerine Bowl, Joan. Also the Edison Festival of Light Parade and Disney's Parade. They've toured Europe 2 times as ambassadors of the American art of twirling.
This group gets around and around.
They certainly do. They certainly do.
And around.
They certainly do. The BC Bell Bunch, that's kind of hard to say. I believe they call that alliteration. Somebody calls it that. There they are, twirling their stuff, ladies and gentlemen.
This is going to fly now from Rocky. That's a great piece of music.
It certainly is.
They're from Orlando, Florida, and they do come every year to the Florida Citrus Festival Parade. They're a professional marching group, and they travel in the southeastern part of the United States.
The Central Florida Twirling Institute is under the direction of B. Courtwright. Pretty little ladies here with their batons going by us right now.
Here come the Citrus Clowns, Richard Chilton
and Jeremy Susak from Winter Haven. The golf cart is decorated in the citrus theme. The Vietnam veterans of Central Florida. Together, then, together again.
The crowd is rising to its feet. This is a lovely sight. People are standing for the Vietnam veterans. Wonderful tribute. Long overdue.
the Vietnam veterans of Central Florida. Getting a round of applause now, as you can hear in the background. Some of the Vietnam veterans throwing candy to the children. The children are appreciating that very much. Well, you know, Joan, back in 1964, ground was broken for the orange-domed Florida Citrus Showcase. It was the second actual permanent home for the festival. In 1982, attendance at the Citrus Festival was over 138,000. And again, the festival needs to look for a larger home with 150,000 here today for the parade. And this is the biggest event of this year's Citrus Festival, the traditional parade going on now for many years. Of course, this is the 60th anniversary of the festival itself. Several of the spectators in the crowd there are getting ready for the next group. From where, Joan?
Fort Meade High School Band. Their nickname is the Golden Wave, and their band number's 100.
Would you mind counting those to verify that number?
My pleasure. Name that tune.
Oh, that's a tough one. How many seconds do I have?
Time's up.
Well, I don't have an answer. Can I come back next week?
We'll refer to our music library.
Do you know the name of that tune, Joan?
No, I don't. I was hoping you did.
The Fort Meade, Florida High School Band. Joan has verified it. There are 100 members in this particular unit. Thank you very much, Joan.
Thank my calculator. Coming up, we have Winter Haven Citrus Riders. This is a horse group that was organized by people who wanted to ride their horse in the parade.
Well, if I had a horse, I would have ridden it in this parade.
Ride your elephant.
Yeah.
That elephant was so big, I don't think it would fit on this street.
Gotta hurry.
Dan Hogan and Joan Mullaney for Centel Cablevision. Right now, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more of the parade right after these messages.
At Sunstate Homes, we build quality into every home because we believe you should be able to own your own home and be proud of the home that you buy. Our prices start at $41,900 with several financing plans to fit your budget and payments from as low as $310 a month. But don't take my word for it. Visit a Sunstate Model Center today. Sunstate Homes, building quality homes since 1971.
I can do this. Let me try. Easy. No way. Watch. Right in your mouth.
This is a pop-up action meal from Hardee's with all of Biscuit's TV characters.
Let me try. Oh, you missed. My turn. Can I try? No, you're too little.
For a special price, you get a regular burger, regular fries, a small soft drink, and a Biscuit's pop-up action meal at Hardee's.
Oh, no.
One each week, 4 in all. The kids will eat them up.
Dan Hogan and Joan Mullaney back at the 1984 edition of the Citrus Festival Parade here in Winter Haven on 3rd Street. Our vantage point is at Avenue B Northwest. How you doing, Joan? What have we got there?
We've got the city of Lakeland on a float by Vaughn Parade Incorporated. Some pretty girls representing the beautiful city of Lakeland. With the swan that's a replica of what we see at Lake Morton.
Yes, and speaking of lakes, I believe the swan is sitting in some water there of some sort. Perhaps Swan Lake, Joan. Another exciting float coming up our way.
I'll let you do it because you're a native.
The castle theme float, entirely in white. Miss Winter Haven is on this particular float, representing the city of 100 lakes. Miss Winter Haven, dressed in a very nice red gown, waving to the crowd with her court in front of her. Very pretty young lady. Miss Winter Haven for 1984.
Coming up, Westwood Junior High School Band. Their nickname is the Warriors.
I was just going to ask you what their nickname was, and you told me. Thank you. Colors are blue and white, under the band direction of Mr. Christopher, the Westwood Junior High Band.
On the screen right now is the Westwood homecoming chief, Lamar Layton, and his princess, Lisa Gilliam. Lisa is 14 years old, and she attends Pinky Studio in Winter Haven. She will be competing next month in Atlanta. She does modeling and voiceovers and television commercials. She's a very pretty girl, and she's a really sweet kid.
The Westwood homecoming court, Shelley Buckley and Fred Seawright. Followed by the next car with Darren Smith and Chuck Weaver. Also of the Westwood homecoming court. And a pretty couple they are.
That's good for them. I think they learn a lot of poise. They meet a lot of people.
They certainly do.
More shots of the crowd.
The festival, of course, is open through February the 18th. Still located this year at the orange-domed Florida Citrus Showcase on Cypress Gardens Boulevard in Winter Haven. Winter Haven JC is coming up here. You might want to correct me a little bit on that, Joan.
I think it's the Daredevil Skaters of Winter Haven.
See, the problem was I only skated that one time on West End Avenue in Lakeland.
Oh, Daredevils, I see why. Oh. I don't think you'd want to do this, Dan. This looks dangerous.
That was my position at the end of the skating career that I had. Those two gentlemen are now just getting up from the Dan Hogan position. You don't wear out the
skates that way.
Some more daredeviling going on, if I can use that term. Very much braver than I ever was. One of the vendors going by the daredevils there. Well, the Winter Haven JCs are now coming up into our viewing range here. Very colorful float here today. This float is by the Sunshine Floats Company.
And Little Miss Winter Haven is in the middle.
Yes, indeed. And the JCs co-sponsor the parade and do a fine job of it, along with the members of the Citrus Festival Showcase,
Here's Dr.
of course.
Paul Barra. He has his hearse, and he is a native of Winter Haven, and he's with WTOG TV and WGTO Radio from Cypress Gardens, Florida.
Both
Dr.
of which
Paul Barra
are owned by Hubbard Broadcasting Company.
I'll be lurking for you. You've heard him say that.
I certainly
he's
have.
a graduate of Transylvania University. Speaking of WGTO, here's their float. They're participating in the Florida Citrus Festival as well, and I understand if you go by the WGTO booth, you can get a free t-shirt.
And tonight at 5:30 at the festival itself, WGTO is sponsoring the Wrangler Country Showdown.
Do you think it's WTOG and WGTO? Do you think they have anything else in common besides scrambled letters?
Well, as I
That's an
mentioned, of
off-the-cuff
course,
question.
yes, they are both owned by Hubbard Broadcasting
Thank you
Company.
very much. I thought you'd know. Florida Bluegrass.
The 8th annual Florida Bluegrass Championships will be held 3 days, March 16th, 17th, and 18th, with over $4,000 in cash prizes and trophies. It's family entertainment at its finest. Free admission to those 3 days, so join them for a down-home country bluegrass good time, March 16th, 17th, and 18th. Well, going back by us right now, the Auburndale Junior High Band, ladies and gentlemen. Auburndale Junior High School Band. Their colors, as you can see, black and gold. They're nicknamed the Eagles. 124 participants in the band out of an enrollment of 1,100 students. Their director, William Agrella. Right now, the Grovemont Nursing and Rehabilitation Center of Winter Haven. Passing our vantage point here. The Grovemont theme, Where Love is Ageless, features both patients and grandchildren of patients on this particular float today. Coming up next, the Black Mountain Cloggers of Auburndale. We do. by Old School. Yes, indeedy. The Black Mountain Cloggers, by the way, are under the direction of Harley Constant. And there's a little demonstration as they go by. Now we've got some horses. The Hamilton County Sheriff's Posse from Jasper, Florida. 12 mounted horse units here we're seeing. You have some more winners for us?
Yes, for the small schools, that's a student enrollment of 800 or under. First place went to Avon Park with an 85.0 score. Second place was Haines City with 82.66, and third place was Fort Meade with 82.33. And I'll repeat those first place winners in the large schools just a little bit later.
Okay, right now we have the Denison Junior High Band of Winter Haven. Got some pretty girls here, I tell you what. Got their white pom-poms moving there.
Again, we do have winners for the high school competition, and for the large schools, that's 800 students or more. The first place went to Lake Howell in Winter Park with a 92.66. Second place was Auburndale Senior with an 87.66. And third place was Lake Wales Highlander School with a 72.66.
The Denison Junior High School Band, their colors are burgundy and white. The nickname for them, the Rebels, under the direction of Lynn Putnam.
Official float for the Florida Citrus Festival, and all the kids that you see, they built this float themselves. Haven't they done a wonderful job? This is the Florida Citrus Growers float. It's a salute to Florida citrus industry. We have Miss Florida Citrus. Her name is Lori. And this float was in the Orange Parade. So you're getting a chance to see it now. Maybe you did see it on TV.
22-year-old Lori Sherrard was crowned at a gala coronation in October at Cypress Gardens following a 3-day selection process in October.
Make way for the Tampa Tribune. This is the Tampa truck with the cheerleaders and an oversized puppet called Red Daly. You get it? Red Daly.
I get it now that you mention it.
Cool cigarettes, obviously.
Regarding the lovely young lady, Miss Florida Citrus for 84. She's a native of Fort Pierce, Florida, where her family is involved in the citrus business. She's a graduate of the University of Florida with a Bachelor of Science degree in communications, and she is a public relations major. A little bit of background information about Miss Florida Citrus for 84. Right now in the convertible, it's Lady Opal Amer, High Priestess of Lakeland, Florida. Mecca 98 represented here.
Well, Dan, we have a winner for the riding groups. The Winter Haven Citrus Riders. They won first place with an average score of 70. The Winter Haven Citrus Riders. First place.
Little Miss Valentine Sweetheart for 1984. The
Happy
Oakland
Valentine's Day,
Ladies
by the way.
Community Club of Haines City.
Now I don't have to send a card.
Have to send me one, and don't forget those 37 birthday cards while you're at it, Joan. A promise is a promise.
Dan, I'm counting on you to identify this group.
You are.
They're from Winter Haven. It's an elementary school. Bethune Elementary.
That is absolutely correct. I wanted to see if you could do it on your own, Joan, and
They've
you
got
did.
rhythm.
Later on today at the festival, there's going to be a diaper derby. Perhaps they'll let me participate in that. Perhaps not. I don't know yet. Bethune Elementary. The American Red Cross, the Ridge chapter.
And their slogan is, get your KISS from your local Red Cross. And the KISS is, keep infants seated safely.
I think it's interesting to note that the Ridge area chapter here from Winter Haven was one of 6 units asked to attend the Super Bowl this year in Tampa.
Jay Burns Pizza. I could go for a pizza right now. Couldn't you, Dan? They're not throwing pizza. They're throwing candy, though.
Why don't you go get us one, Joan?
Good idea. Hold the anchovies.
I want mine with sausage.
Here comes the Florida National Guard, Battery C, 2nd Battalion, 116th Field Artillery.
They're loading the cannon. You better hold on tight here. If that thing goes off, we may fly off this mobile van and be in the parade ourselves.
You know, now I know what a cat on a hot tin roof means. We're sitting on top of the Centel van.
Oh, I get it. I thought maybe Liz Taylor was here.
She might be. They come from all over.
They
The
certainly
Florida
do.
Festival.
150,000 spectators.
Florida National Guard.
Battery C.
2nd Battalion, 116th Field Artillery.
The cannon may go off at any moment.
I'm braced.
I notice the driver has earplugs. He's prepared.
Hold on to the cameraman.
We have another winner for you, ladies and gentlemen. Joan, what was the winner this time around?
I thought you'd never ask. Best junior high school band was judged Auburndale with a score of 75.66.
Disabled American veterans going by our vantage point right now. There goes that cannon I warned you about. I wish you could have seen Joan jump. The commercial award went to beautiful Cypress Gardens, the float built by Mr. Ritchie. The American flag, ladies and gentlemen, pretty sight to see on parade day here at the Citrus Festival 84. Boy Scout Troop 516 going in line with the Disabled American Veterans of Winter Haven. The Canal Commission, they were very much involved in this year's annual Christmas boat parade in December. Centel Cablevision was there to bring that to you as well.
Can we give you a quick wrap-up of the winners? The non-commercial float that took first place was the First Baptist Church of Winter Haven, and the Mayor Award went to the City of Lakeland, and the Best Citrus Float went to Lake Ship Baptist.
Oh, I love lions, and there's one representing the Lake Alfred Lions Club. Lake Alfred, the home of Lions Park.
Jenkins Lincoln Mercury says Florida citrus is as good as the cat.
Spikers All-American 4x4, the monster truck of the South. Help keep Winter Haven beautiful coming up on the end of the parade here.
Keep.
And the local Winter Haven Police Department bringing up the end of today's parade, a safety factor. The parade has lasted 2 hours and 10 minutes. It got underway promptly at 10 a.m. on schedule. Thanks very much to John Robertson from Ellis National Bank, who's been in charge of this parade now for the last 8 years, and a fine job he has done for us today. The vendors going by as the crowd begins to disperse here at the end of the parade. I'm Dan Hogan.
And I'm Joan Mullaney.
You certainly are, and it's been a pleasure working with you on Parade Day 84, Joan.
You too, Dan.
And this is Centel Cablevision, hoping all of you have enjoyed our look at the 1984 Citrus Festival Parade. Thank you for joining us.